Alright, so hello gamers and welcome back to another video. So yes, Band of Forces has an absolutely massive amount of stuff to talk about because we just had a bunch of new changes. The developers have talked about a new rework to a gun that has been very controversial lately, and it's now becoming a lot easier to get attachments for your weapons. It's very cool. And of course we have this thing to the M16A1. But yeah, let's just jump right into it, okay? Starting it off, now if you get an assist count as kill, your kill counter will increase on your weapon. Let's say I got 99 damage. Now before it would say assist count as kill, right there, 60. I had 451, now I have 452 kills. Assist count as kills did not used to count towards your attachments. So if you're using a sniper rifle, for example, and you had a 40 kill game, but only 20 of them were full kills, the other ones where you hit somebody for 80, you actually only got 20 kills towards your attachments, which I think was a very horrible feature, and I don't know why assist count as kills didn't count towards kills. It doesn't make any sense. And the other thing is that the AK-12BR is now being moved to the light machine gun category. That's right, this battle rifle is being moved to the LMGs. It's also becoming a 5.45 weapon, which if you didn't know is a much smaller caliber, which means that this weapon is going to get a complete rework. It's probably going to have a big drum magazine, and it's not going to be anything like it was before. So we're getting the burst removed, and now the gun is just not even a battle rifle anymore. So yeah, it's really interesting. We'll see how this goes, alright? That's all I'm gonna say. Because we are getting a new gun called the SVK-12E, which might kind of replace sort of what the AK-12BR used to do. As you can see, this gun is insane right now, but they removed the burst, which is really sad. Now the gun is just going to be completely different, and this is for realism. This gun isn't real. If it was real, then it would be more like a battle rifle because it can't support this caliber. But now let's get on to all of these crazy changes on guns like the M16A1. What they did to the M16A1 is they brought back the old one. You guys have been complaining about this. I know a lot of people loved the old 950 RPM M16. And yes, the default fire rate is 900, but they accidentally didn't turn off this increasing fire rate. And I really hope this is a like experimental attachment on a weapon. Please give me like 1500 RPM. It's not particularly effective, but please make this something on the M16A1. So yeah, probably later today or tomorrow, they'll probably be removing this version of the weapon from the game. It'll go to 950 RPM, which is cool because it'll be the old M16A1 again. But I really hope they keep this in the game as some other kind of ammo type, because the time to kill on this thing is ridiculous, but only having 20 bullets makes it so fun. It is just, it's like a Tech 9 as your primary. We also got the old M855 back, which is the 800 RPM version. And if you liked both of these ammo types, they're coming back. Right now, of course, this also has the ramp up. It's not quite as crazy because it doesn't start at as high fire rate. But next up, though, we have the AUG A2 762, which is finally getting a nerf. It has worse velocity, worse pen, worse range, and no torso multi now, and a slower reload time. However, in-game right now, it has increased velocity instead of reduced, but they're about to fix that. Basically, what that means is that this gun can no longer 3-hit kill nearly as far. It's still like 80 studs or something, so it's not that big of a deal. But it used to be able to 3-hit kill to like almost 100 studs, so definitely a bit of a nerf there. The craziest part is that it does not have a torso multi anymore, which means that it is no longer able to 4-hit kill torso all ranges, which is pretty huge. It's now a 5-hit kill at range. The recoil is still very low, so it's not really that big of a deal. I feel like this gun will still be really good. In fact, it might still be one of the best weapons in the game, but I guess we will have to see if it remains still very good, but it still feels really good to me. Fire rate is the same, the recoil is the same, which I don't know why the recoil is the same. And overall, in close range, you're gonna feel that this gun is nearly the same, but it just doesn't hold up as well over range, which is definitely a huge thing that needed to be addressed, because it should not have the amount of range it did. But as you can see, it's still very good, and the recoil is still great. So next up, we have an RPK-74 nerf. Now has more recoil, a little bit less up close damage, reduced ranges, both max and min. So basically, it has a worse 4-hit kill range, and it can no longer 2-shot headshot, and it has a little bit more recoil. I wish that they increased the RPM, but then maybe increase the downsides of it a little bit more, because I hate how it has 600 RPM and not 650, even though it's a big AK-74. I feel like it should have the same fire rate as the AK-74. The recoil was probably also a little bit too accurate, still very accurate as you can see, but you know, Not a huge downside to the recoil, and overall, I think the gun's still going to be very, very good. You can run the hollow point ammo, but we need to talk about hollow points because they destroyed hollow points. It's going to be bad. The MP7 does have slightly better recoil, but it has reduced min damage, decreased ranges, decreased pen, decreased aiming, walk speed, and increased reload times by 0.1 seconds. Basically, the main thing here is that if you run the armor-piercing ammo type, you can't 5-hit kill at range anymore, which is probably a great thing anyway. Recoil, as you can see, is still pretty solid. You know, they did increase it a while ago. For such a low rank weapon, it might still be too high. I feel like it's just a little bit not noob friendly anymore with this initial kick, but it's probably not that big of a deal. I feel like people probably will be able to use it up close. I'm not sure why they reduced the pen from 1.2 to 1.0 studs. I feel like that was kind of one of the main things about this gun is the pen, but I can see why they reduced the min damage. That totally makes sense. The fact that it already had that incredible muzzle velocity. Where are you? There you go. Made it kind of ridiculous that it also had the 5-hit at range. Just not sure why they have to change like 5 things at once. I feel like all they had to do was reduce the min damage and then it would have been fine. You know, that's all they had to do. Next up, we have the Rama, which has had a pretty substantial nerf. It has reworked recoil, which kind of feels a little bit worse in my opinion. And the main thing here is that it has worse ranges and it does 31 damage instead of, what was it, 33? Yeah. It also has a longer reload. Yeah, as you can see, that recoil does not feel that good. It has a longer reload, but it has a new animation. I don't know. It's fine. The main thing here is that the hollow point ammo will no longer give you that, you know, very consistent 3-hit kill when you're not hitting torso shots, which was kind of OP anyway, so I get why they did that. I haven't seen a lot of people running this weapon lately. It's kind of unfortunate. I think it's still a good gun. If you think about it, it's kind of like an MP7 drum mag. Same fire rate as the MP7, very similar damage. Now we have the 380 ACP. You get much faster equip speed and better min damage range with this. This still has a fast reload. I don't know if the damage on this has been reduced because the base damage has been reduced. I feel like the 380 should have a 3-hit kill in my opinion, but maybe that would be too good because it has the fast reload, but it's only got 20 rounds. I like the idea of a gun you can shoot, you know, 20 bullets only, but then has a very, very fast reload time, but the damage is just not that good. So, like, look at this. Ooh. Like, it's a cool feature for a weapon to be able to reload this quick, but it just doesn't do that much damage, see? Then we have the abysmal Saiga 12 nerf, and this one feels, in my opinion, like they're just trying to nerf the only competition to the DBV 12 or whatever the new version of that one is called, to make the DBV the best gun in the game, because look at this. 5 bullets on the Saiga 12. Does it have an extended mag now? No, it does not. And I'm going to show you why this is actually maybe the worst shotgun in the entire game now. The Saiga 12, here's the spread. Not particularly good, as you can see. You only get 5 rounds, but they made the reload time faster. So it's like, okay, what else did they change? Well, they made the recoil really, really annoying on it, and they increased the fire rate to 410, which is not that big of a deal because like 350 was fine anyway. And worst of all, they reduced the damage of the pellets from 28 to 24. So you now take 5 pellets to kill. What other shotgun takes 5 pellets to kill? It's the USAS 12, which has the same reload speed, but double the magazine capacity. Double the mag capacity on this auto shotgun that has the same reload speed. And guess what? I think the spread is either the same or maybe even better. 20 and 24 damage in terms of pellets. That's actually the same number of pellets to kill. So the Saiga 12 and the USAS have the same pellets to kill, but this one has higher fire rate, better recoil, double the magazine capacity, it's full auto, and I think this needs to be addressed. Otherwise, nobody is going to use the gun except people who don't realize how bad it is now. Like, it doesn't even have an extended mag. This is one of the worst changes, and I get why the Saiga 12 got a nerf, guys. I understand why it got a nerf, but it's just ridiculous. And then they have probably the worst part about all of this, which is the full auto conversion, which gives you 500 RPM, and then this is the recoil that you get with the gun, and it makes your spread even worse than it did before. And nobody used the Saiga 12 auto before because it didn't even have an upside. Now it does increase your RPM, but it's only to 500, which is only 50 more than the USAS, and then the USAS has, you know, all the benefits that it does. Like, this even makes your spread worse. It is honestly kind of ridiculous how bad this weapon is. If a weapon is overpowered, you definitely want to see it get a nerf, but this is just basically removing the weapon from the game. I mean, it's not unusable per se, but it's not particularly good. Next up, we have a nerf to the intervention, which is so sad. You can no longer run the marksman kit unless you want horrible fire rate, because now they've reduced the fire rate to only 40 instead of 45. And even though the fire rate is lower, they've also reduced the torso kill range to 147 studs. So this gun has a worse torso kill than it did before they buffed it, because it used to have a 150 and now it has a 147, which is almost the same. But yeah, the intervention is now much worse. I don't know why they had to do both of the changes that they did, because they could have just reduced the fire rate and not nerfed the torso kill range. But it's like they have to change 5 different things at once. The intervention is still going to be pretty good for sure. Like, it'll definitely be good. I wish they increased the muzzle velocity back to 3,200. I don't know why they ever reduced it, because I thought this was supposed to be the high velocity sniper, and now it's got the same as like all the 50 cals and basically everything. Next up, we have a nerf to the Glock 18C. This has reduced muzzle velocity, decreased max damage, decreased min damage, decreased max range, decreased min range, and decreased reload speed as well. This is what I'm talking about. They changed 14 different things about this weapon. This is with like a very, very low recoil setup, and the recoil still doesn't feel too good, I'm not gonna lie. It also has more bullet drop, significantly reduced range, and significantly reduced damage. It used to 5-hit all ranges, now it's a 6-hit, which I think makes sense. I don't think it should have been a 5-hit or anything, but that's what they should have reduced, is basically just reduce the min damage to 18 or 17 or something like that. They reduced the range a little bit, but they also had to tweak the recoil, and they also had to tweak the muzzle velocity, and also had to tweak the reload speed. It's like, we don't have to tweak like 10 things every time we want to change a gun. It's not that complicated, you know? Yeah, that recoil does not feel good. Let's just take a look at this with like only a delta sight. So this is what it's going to be like for a new player using this gun. Not particularly great, I'm not going to lie. It kind of has like more of a recoil pattern, which is kind of cool. Ooh, it does not shoot where you're sighted. The extended mag also has a slower reload as well, and okay, that's crazy. And it also makes your equip speed way worse, which for a secondary is really unfortunate. This is way too much of a tweak to a gun that, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely a little too good, but I do not think that we needed this much to the weapon. You only get this at rank 17, and the next full auto, like high fire rate machine pistol is at rank 50. So this is the only one that you really get up until then. Even the PP2000 is rank 42, and then also you have the 93R at like rank 26, but that's a burst, right? You want like a full auto pistol that kind of does something good. I feel like this one got a little bit too much of a nerf, I'm not gonna lie. And if you're not running a full setup, it just does not feel particularly good. And guess what? This is a low rank weapon. People are not gonna have money to buy attachments. They need a gun that does something good. I didn't even hit him once. And we have possibly the most controversial part of this update, which is the nerf to hollow point and armor piercing and super armor piercing. Armor piercing now significantly reduces your headshot multiplier. Right now, it reduces it from 1.4 to 1.26. So you go from 46.2 headshot to 39.5 headshot on the AK-12. So you're losing 7 damage to the head, which is insane. And I feel like that doesn't make any sense because you have a helmet on in this game. So wouldn't armor piercing be better because it's piercing the armor of your helmet? It should be doing more damage, I thought. Right now, AP is not even used for the pen. Like, people don't even use AP to increase your pen because it only increases it by 30%, which is like not even that much. And before we talk about hollow point, because that one's pretty interesting, we need to talk about super armor piercing, which only increases your pen by 40% instead of 30, so you're only getting 0.1 more studs a pen. And then look at this, you have 35 damage headshot instead of 46, so you're losing 11 damage headshots. People only used it for the torso multi, but I don't even think they used it for that. Overall, I would not recommend running super armor piercing for sure, but maybe AP is still good. Depends on the weapon though, because some weapons you want the headshot multi. The AK-12 actually probably one of those weapons, because you get that 3-shot if you land 1 headshot. Last up, we have hollow point, which got completely gutted for the actual fun part of it. It still increases your limb damage, but then reduces your torso multi. So remember that this is not particularly good on most of your guns, but now it does not increase your ranges or your headshot multi, which was really good and made certain DMRs really, really fun to use with this. Oh wait, this is the map from before, but they actually added the textures. All right. Overall, this is a very interesting change, a very interesting update. Let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about this. Subscribe if you're new, but I will see you all in the next one. Peace. Have a nice day.